President Nguyễn Xuân Phúc has hailed the Vietnam Red Cross Society's strong performance in connecting kind hearts to multiply acts of kindness, spreading the human values of the country's society and region. Addressing the closing ceremony of the Vietnam Red Cross Society's 11th National Congress for the 2022-2027 tenure on August 30th, the state leader thanked agencies, organizations, businesses, and donors at home and abroad, as well as organizations belonging to the International Red Cross and Red Crescent movement for providing resources and joining hands with the Vietnam Red Cross Society, enabling it to effectively carry out humanitarian activities over the years. He asked the organization to focus on enhancing the qualifications of its personnel, ensuring the transparency in its activities, and strengthening international cooperation to show Vietnam's high sense of responsibility in humanitarian activities in the region and the world. During the 11th National Congress, delegates elected a 111-strong Central Executive Committee, which then elected a 30-member Standing Committee at its first meeting. At the Congress, President Phúc was honored as the honorary president of the Vietnam Red Cross Society in the 11th tenure. The same day, President Nguyễn Xuân Phúc hosted a reception for representatives from the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, the International Committee of the Red Cross, and international delegates to the Congress of the Vietnam Red Cross Society. The Vietnamese state leader highly valued international partner support for the Vietnam Red Cross Society. He suggested that they continue to create conditions for the Vietnam Red Cross Society to make more contributions to international humanitarian movement. Foreign delegates lauded the role played by the Vietnam Red Cross Society, especially in responding to epidemics and natural disasters. They voiced their wish to strengthen cooperation among Red Cross societies to respond to emerging non-traditional challenges while enhancing humanitarian aid activities around the world. Religions in Vietnam have supported the nation in all difficulties and challenges, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính said while chairing a conference praising religious organizations that have made contributions to the national construction and defense in Ho Chi Minh City on August 30th.
Prime Minister Chính said the religions have helped to optimize opportunities to bring about prosperity to the nation and wealth and happiness to people. Notably, he said they have played a role in the COVID-19 fight, joining efforts of all level authorities with good models and initiatives to combat the pandemic. The government leader said religious groups should play a more active role in patriotic movements, healthcare, education, vocational training, social welfare, and poverty reduction activities, as well as foreign relations and international integration. He reiterated the party and state consistent policies of ensuring the right to freedom of belief and religions for all. Vietnam counts 43 organizations of 16 religions with more than 26 million followers, or 27% of the national population.
On the morning of August 30th, the Vietnam People's Navy and Indonesian Navy held the opening ceremony for joint naval exercises of the two countries. Let's take a look.
Deputy Chief of the Staff of Vietnam's Naval Region 4, Colonel Nguyễn Văn Ngân said the joint exercise is an important milestone in the development of the two sides' agreement on the standard process of joint training signed in December 2021, aiming to enhance the friendship, understanding and trust between the two militaries, including the navies. Commander of Indonesia Naval Base Force Rear Admiral Kemas M. Ikha Mandani said the joint exercise helps promote the two navies' capacity, experience and mutual understanding, thus helping guarantee maritime security and build up their trust.
It's a special field exercise to make understanding and cooperation between two sailors from the Indonesian Navy and Vietnam Navy.
The joint exercise, the first of its kind between the Vietnamese and Indonesian navies, is taking place in the bottom and beaten waters of Indonesia from August 29th to September 3rd.
Vietnam's Consumer Price Index in August increased slightly by 0.005% from previous month and 2.89% year-on-year, according to the General Statistics Office.
In the January to August period, the index went up to 2.58% compared to the same period last year. Meanwhile, the country's core inflation rose by 1.64%. Among the 11 groups of main consumer goods and services now reported price highs. Meanwhile, decreases were seen in the prices of educational services and post and telecommunication services. To actively respond to challenges posed by increasing inflation pressure, the government has directed ministries, sectors, and localities to take concerted measures to stabilize prices and minimize inflation's negative impacts on socio-economic development.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính has ordered reviewing legal regulations in an effort to ensure the stable, healthy, and sustainable development of the real estate market. In a directive issued on August 29th, the Prime Minister emphasized the need to step up decentralization and pilot mechanisms and policies to create a new momentum for the market. The government leader also stressed the need to combine fiscal and monetary policies harmoniously and effectively, implement the monetary policy flexibly, safely, and cautiously, and expand the fiscal policy reasonably. The Ministry of Construction were asked to quickly study and provide relevant legal regulations, develop an information system, and accelerate cashless payment in property transactions. The housing law amended and the law on real estate amended will be submitted to the National Assembly for approval to create legal framework for real estate business, according to the directive. The Prime Minister said cities and provinces should publicize the list of projects, land fund and procedures to attract investors and facilitate their operations. Overseas shipments within the first 7 months of 2022 earned more than $14 billion for the leather and footwear sector, an annual increase of 13%.
During the period, the export revenue of the products from North America and the EU grew by 24% and 17.5%, respectively. The export value also saw good recovery in markets signing a free trade agreement with Vietnam. For example, an 18.2% increase in exports to Vietnam EU FTA members and a 10.5% rise in comprehensive and progressive agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership member markets. Key export markets of Vietnam like the EU and US are experiencing a reduction in consumption, hence an impact on purchasing power. Vietnam earned nearly $21 billion from the export of leather and footwear in 2021, up 46% from 2020, including roughly $18 billion from footwear alone, up more than 6%. Various world-famous brands, including Nike, Adidas, Reebok, and Puma, have selected Vietnam as a destination for outsourcing and setting production bases.
More than 339,000 employees affected by the COVID-19 pandemic have received a total of $41.12 million from the Unemployment Insurance Fund.
A supporting package for the group has been launched by the Vietnam Social Security, VSS, under a resolution adopted by the National Assembly Standing Committee. To date, 90% of the employees registering for the assistance have received payments from the package. Meanwhile, the VSS chapters in 19 provinces and cities nationwide have committed related payments in their localities. As of December 31st last year, there were more than 414,000 registered employees having yet to obtain their sums, which amounted to over 1.15 trillion Vietnamese dong. The National Standing Committee has requested the disbursement of the financial support to be completed by September 10 as the latest.
The city has always been among the top destinations for foreign direct investment in Vietnam. It is currently home to 827 valid FDI projects worth nearly $24 billion from 42 countries and territories.
Various investment promotion activities have been organized recently by authorities of Hải Phòng to popularize the northern city as a dynamic and potential destination for investors. The city is currently home to 827 valid FDI projects worth nearly $24 billion from 42 countries and territories. Up to 444 of those projects are invested in economic and industrial zones. The Republic of Korea is the leading investor here in terms of both the project number and value, over 170 projects worth about $10 billion, equivalent to 41% of the total FDI. It has attracted many large-scale manufacturers, including LG and Pegatron. Leaders of Haiphong said the city always treasures the cooperation and pledges unceasing efforts to create an optimal and fair business environment for foreign investors.
Calligraphy is an ancient art form from the East, while graffiti represents a young cultural movement imported from the West and largely associated with hip-hop culture in Vietnam. An exhibition named Dialogue Between Calligraphy and Graffiti, held at Hanoi's Văn Miếu Quốc Tử Giám, has brought audiences a new experience in creative arts.
Calligraphy is an ancient art form developed in the East. It was mainly practiced in the past by intellectuals and literary enthusiasts. Graffiti developed in the West as part of a young cultural movement and after arriving in Vietnam has been influenced by hip-hop culture. With a design to identify creative ideas, the Văn Miếu Quốc Tử Giám Cultural and Science Center, in cooperation with the Vietnam National Institute of Cultural and Art Studies, have implemented the dialogue between calligraphy and graffiti project of the past 2 months.
With a desire to make Văn Miếu Quốc Tử Giám not only a relic site for all to visit, but also a creative space and destination for those who love heritage and art culture, the center has the dialogue between calligraphy and graffiti project.
This exhibition features 39 works of calligraphy and graffiti, arranged like a story about two people with different personalities and a dialogue that brings them together to empathize and share with each other.
We found a similarity amidst the differences, a love of writing and characters. Calligraphy is an ancient art form. Graffiti is a young cultural movement from urban areas. The exhibition provides a combination of old and new, of the traditional and the contemporary.
Vietnamese calligraphers and graffiti artists from around the country have worked together to produce works that show the dialogue between two art forms. This exhibition is open to the public until September 30th.
Visitors to Sơn Trà Peninsula in Da Nang City have a new and interesting check-in point after a Mural Street project opened recently.
The mural is part of a project to develop community tourism at Thọ Quang, Minh Thái Beach in Sơn Trà district. It provides a change in the urban landscape, contributing to building an interesting tourist destination that attracts a large number of visitors. With the theme, The Story of the Fishing Village, the artwork recreates the daily activities and livelihoods of people in the local fishing village. The mural sketches nearly 400 meters and covers an area of over 1,200 square meters.
The Departments of Tourism of Bình Định, Phú Yên and Khánh Hòa provinces has co-organized a workshop to develop 1, 2 or 3 destinations to serve tourists from China, the Republic of Korea and Japan.
The 3 southern center provinces are located on the Trans-Vietnam tourist route with rich tourism resources. They agreed that each locality needs to identify its strengths of natural resources and unique tourism products to build a common tourism product 1, 2 or 3 destinations. According to insiders, the 3 provinces should train high-quality tourism service staff, coordinate with airlines to open charter flights, and open flights to some major cities of China, the Republic of Korea, and Japan.